You're tuned in to the Nerd Network Podcast.
You're watching and listening to the Nerd Network Podcast. I'm your host, Marcy. I'm here with Chris Mowry. He is the co-owner of Journey Pro KC and founder of Party Invite podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to talk that nerd.
Damn, that's some nerdy shit.
Yes. Yeah, we can cuss on the show. I don't care. It's very chill, very relaxed.
Cool.
But yeah, let's get into it with you, sir. Let's see. We never met in person until today.
No, yeah, we've interacted on social media and stuff like that, but and we talked about doing each other's shows and things like that. But
yeah,
here we are.
Yeah, finally, I'm excited.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah. How did you hear about me in the first place? Like, how did you add me? I don't remember.
Oh my God.
I added you. I probably added you. I don't remember.
I just think the Nerdist Network podcast like popped up as like maybe an ad or something. But I saw it and I was like, oh, cool. Like somebody else in the area that's doing like nerdy shit. Hit your button. Nerdy shit.
That's some nerdy shit.
Cool. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's the stuff I'm into is nerdy shit. So yeah, I just had like stumbled across it and then followed you and all that kind of stuff. And we just started opening up a dialogue about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about Party Invite. How
did
that come apart? How did that come together?
Basically like I was a production manager of a music venue record bar in Kansas City for 5+ years, nearly 6. And during the pandemic, I was bored and I needed to get some creative energy out. I had a podcast for a while called Look Who's Talking Mao. Very good punny name.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was more of like an interview show, but I like had these like illusions of grandeur of being like the next Bill Simmons or something. And like my show can be about whatever my guest is into. So I would like, for example, I had Jason Trabue on, who's the drummer of the Casket Lottery. And he's a production manager for a Band of Horses and Garbage and a bunch of bands. And he's also a huge Chiefs fan. So like for the first half of the episode, we're talking about his career and all those kind of things. And then in the last half, we just talked nothing but the Chiefs and like real nerdy in depth about what our cap situation is and what we were going to do in the draft. And it was a blast. But I started becoming inconsistent. As you know, the problem with podcasting is this shit ain't easy.
No, it's not.
So I had kind of fallen off of that, and I did like one episode during that with Mega Ran during the pandemic. There, like that first run of like lockdown, I did an episode with Mega Ran, who does the music for King Woods.
Wow.
So I did an episode with him, and then. Like, I was like, man, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is exactly what I want to be doing podcast wise. And then like video games brought me back.
Yeah.
I always just want to talk video games with people and just chat about them and things like that. And I just had this idea of there was this group that was already in existence on Facebook that a few of my friends were a part of, like Thomas Egan and Carlos Gomez and Devi Hill. And I like thought, hey, we should come together and like do like a podcast and like a community thing, like make it inclusive because, you know, like at the time, this sounds crazy now, but at the time there was still like a ton of talk about how gaming isn't very inclusive and like the people that are talking about it just look like me.
Yeah.
You know, so like now that's like all changed because of, you know, things that have happened in the world in the past like couple of years, but we're like, we need to make it inclusive as possible. Like make sure just let everybody know that you can come here and hang and you can ask questions about video games and we're not going to like dogpile on you and make you feel stupid for not knowing something.
That's awesome. I feel like that's what the community, you know, for a while was lacking for sure.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I never thought I was a nerd until like someone was like, dude, you're a movie nerd. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
I'm an everything nerd.
Exactly.
I'm an entertainment nerd. So if it has to do with entertainment, I can probably carry a conversation about it.
Yeah, for sure. Rap nerd.
Yes, exactly. Like, we're like rap, hip hop, music in general. Yeah. Like I'm down to nerd.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I started Party Invite with them. We record our podcasts every Thursday. We do it live on Twitch, Party Invite Show on Twitch, twitch.tv/Party Invite Show. And yeah, it's just like a welcoming community on Facebook, Discord, all those kind of things. Just search Party Invite or Party Invite show, and you should find everything that you need. You can go to partyinvite.games and find stuff there. We just want to be able to like have conversations, and like at least this year our focus is to like grow with the community and have the community become more involved in like the content and like, you know, like, hey, like come on the podcast, hop on these like things we do on Twitch. We'll do, you know, we did this thing called QTEs or quick time events where it was like a like something like Giant Bomb would do it with like a quick look, but we call it a quick time event.
Cool.
Where we could kind of check out a game for a while. Every Saturday and Sunday, mostly Saturdays, we do a brunch special in the morning, usually like 11 a.m. or noon, and we'll play like something chill on Twitch where everybody can just come and hang out, grab a cup of coffee, and just chill.
Favorite video game? I've asked that real fast.
What's that?
Your favorite video game right now, currently? What are you playing right now? A lot.
What I'm playing right now a lot is this game called Wildermyth that came out this past year. It was on a bunch of people's top 10 games of the year. It's an RPG that's like, oh God, how would I describe this?
If it's good, let me know, guys. Should I try it?
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It won best RPG of the year from PC Gamer. But it's very good. It's like all story driven and random. So like random events will happen. Your characters will have random things happen to them. Like decisions you make matter. Like I know I'm just hitting all the buzzwords, but I'm blanking on how I describe this. The artwork is sort of like Paper Mario style. Cool. And like battles are like tactical, sort of like XCOM. So you're like moving your characters around to do certain maneuvers and things like that. Nice. It's a lot of fun. It was just on sale for like less than $20. And like I said, it was nominated for a bunch of, if you watch a bunch of gaming stuff, it'll be in their top 10 lists of games of the year. Cool. And it's just one of those ones that slipped past me. I kind of heard little things about it, but didn't get to play it this past year. So, you know, you go back and pick up the ones that you missed.
Oh man. Yeah, man, you do a lot of stuff. You wear a lot of different caps, man.
I do, yeah. I do wear a lot of caps, yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about Journey Pro.
Let's talk about Journey Pro.
Yeah, got a show coming up.
We do, yeah. The Love Below, February 18th at Blip Roasters in the West Bottoms of Kansas City.
Dude, what's parking like there? So I went there over the weekend.
Yeah.
I wanted to check out the venue before, and I was like, parking.
There's no parking.
Get there early.
So there is parking for sure. So you can find some parking on the street there, but just like up the road. So like here is Blip, and as you like pull up to it, you'll see there is like a bridge, and underneath the bridge there's a ton of parking. That's where everybody just parks and they just walk over.
Great, perfect.
And you're totally fine.
It's not
safe.
a far walk.
Don't worry about it.
Not that far of a walk.
Yeah,
no. It's not. Cool.
But yeah, I can actually run down the card for you if you would like.
Do it. I'm gonna put everything on the screen too.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we got let's start Kidding Alfonso versus Moonshine Mantel. That's a real big story we've been telling lately. This one hasn't been announced yet because we had a slight change to this show. But TOOTIE LYNN versus Brooke Valentine, JDX versus Dak Draper, Dak Draper formerly of ROH, Thumbs and Buns versus Dean Alexander and AC MACK. AC MACK is the new IWTV champion and first openly gay man to hold a recognized world championship.
That's beautiful.
It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Jeremy Wyatt versus Trevor Eon. This one, this is up your alley, and I know you're an Impact mark. So MASHA SLAMOVICH versus Gary J.
I saw that.
Yeah, so that one will be good. Here's one for you AEW marks like me. The Howitz versus the Infantry, which is Sean Dean and Carly Bravo. Then we have a 6-man tag. Darian Bankston in the Premier versus Heidi Howitzer, Dallas Cade, and Luke Langley. We also have Christian Rose versus Shug D. Formerly Pineapple Pete. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a great show. Tickets are just $20. There's still tickets available. There'll be tickets available at the door as well. And it's a good time. Bring, like we say, we're like wrestling for people who don't like wrestling. So if you just want to go to the bar and have a good time. Okay. Why not come see a show? You know? Yeah. We've like the last show, we had a lot of first timers, and they all had a blast. So if you're not into wrestling, you should come check it out and just have a good time. If you are into wrestling, why aren't you coming?
Yeah, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Check it out.
Ticket. Yeah. We got big stuff planned for this upcoming year. New venue, training school, all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
so
wow, dang.
yeah, there's a lot of big stuff coming down the pipe here.
Yeah, this isn't just like a high school gym or someone's backyard. No, this is some really cool professional wrestling. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you get to experience live, and it's right there in front of you. You get to like almost touch the actual wrestlers. You know, there might be some chairs, some sweat, some blood thrown
There's
at
some
you.
Sweat. Yeah, definitely some sweat.
Yeah.
Maybe not blood. Maybe blood. Who knows? Accidents happen.
Yes, they do. No, but yeah, how'd you get involved with Journey Pro?
So they had reached out.
First of all, hold on. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Let people know what Journey Pro is.
Yes, Journey Pro
Besides the
KC,
wrestling.
independent wrestling company here in Kansas City, Missouri. We're in Topeka right now, but in Kansas City, Missouri, they've been running since 2018. Walter Fulbright and DJ Stewart, original founding members. They just brought on recently myself and Hartzell Gray, who you'd know from 96.5 The Buzz,
Oh, okay, cool.
or the voice of Sporting Kansas City. So they brought us on to kind of help them rejuvenate after coming back from COVID. Like so many indie wrestling companies have just closed their doors.
Definitely.
They can't open. So they did 78 weeks later, and another show, I believe, and then we did the one out at Lemonade Park. They had reached out to us. Like I said, former production manager at Record Bar, who also helped open Lemonade Park out in the West Bottoms with Voltaire, and as a production manager there. So they reached out to me, started talking to me about it. I met with them, chatted with them for a while. We made that show happen. They told me that they had the Seidel brothers versus the Besties as the main event, Besties in the World. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I just like started talking with them and telling them I'd love to help out and get involved in any way that I could. And it just started happening. Like I started meeting with Walter all the time,
Yeah.
and he was talking to me about me coming on and helping out with production. And then unfortunately, Walter fell ill in October, and he's doing better now. Get more involved, but he was basically like, I really need help. Like I need you to help me. And I was like, for sure. What do you need?
Yeah.
Well, we have a show in 3 weeks, and we need to book it. So
If you know that world,
jumping in.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I jumped in
Yes.
feet first, head first. It was a shallow pool. Yeah, it was a lot to take in right away. And, I'll be the first one to tell you that mistakes were made
of
in the
course.
first couple months. But,
Yeah.
we were able to take January off, was able to get ahead of things. We got most of our first half of the year completely planned out. Like we're ready to go. And there's a lot of really exciting stuff that I think people, if they're into wrestling or they're not into wrestling, because we appeal to both, like Kansas City should be excited about this entertainment that we're bringing.
That's the key word, entertainment. It is fun. It's a good time.
Yes.
It's on the weekends, and there's alcohol there.
What?
Right? Yeah. I
Alcohol?
know, right?
That's crazy.
Alcohol, I know. What the heck? It kills germs.
It does. I've heard that.
Yeah, definitely take it. But no, that's really cool. That's really exciting. I kind of want to transition a little bit to the side.
Yeah.
Outside of Kansas City with wrestling in general.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm an Impact Wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, what type of wrestling fan are you? Because there's all kinds of wrestling out there right now in the world.
So let me tell you my story back to wrestling. How about
Let's
that? How about
do it.
this? And I've told this a bunch of times. So
That's a good story.
if you've ever watched me on a podcast or listened to me on a podcast, I apologize for repeating myself, but this is the truth. So I had started sort of getting back from the great YouTube channel, What Culture Wrestling.
Okay. Yeah.
All their like little top 10 videos and
Yeah.
their like recaps, the ups and downs of what's going on in wrestling. So I kind of like started watching those without having cable. And was like, oh, okay. So now I know what's kind of going on and all the things. And I was
That's
like,
how you get your weekly
what's
highlights.
What's
Yeah.
this AEW
Yeah.
shit? What is this?
Oh my God. That's great.
So I started kind of dipping my toe back in. And the day that really brought me back was the day that Kobe Bryant died. Now I hated Kobe Bryant.
Dude, that's funny. I hate him too.
Yeah.
And I'm from California, and I hate him.
Couldn't stand him. He was like my least favorite basketball player. I just always thought I just couldn't stand him. Anyway, he died, and it wrecked me in a way that I was not prepared for.
Yeah.
I just was a mess that day. I don't know why. It
Wow.
still is like shocking because I didn't
Yeah.
like him. I think it was just like the shock of it. Like, well, he can't be dead. It's fucking
No.
Kobe Bryant.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
So he died that day, and I was a mess, and it was crazy. And I remember like maybe I had listened to What Culture that day, and they go, don't forget, if you sign up for the network, your first month is free, and you can do that on a pay-per-view day. So technically, you have 2 pay-per-views for free, because if you just wait a month, there's another one.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's right. Well, I think I know what I'm going to do tonight to make myself feel better. And I watched the Royal Rumble.
Oh, hell yeah.
That was the Royal Rumble where Edge came back.
Oh, dude. Oh, gosh.
And
Were you not expecting that?
There was rumors.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah. And then Ricochet low-blowed Brock Lesnar after he had thrown out 15 people. Ricochet low blows him, and Drew McIntyre Claymored the shit out of him over the top rope, and I literally jumped up and screamed. And I was like, yeah!
I feel like a kid again, huh?
And then I was like, whoa, what the fuck was that?
Hell yeah.
What was that?
Yes.
What?
That's amazing.
What was that? Did anybody see that? And it got me back in. I was like, fuck, they got me. I'm in, right?
Yes.
So then because of how great, What Culture was talking about them, I started watching AEW. I started watching everything. Actually, I binged all of NWA Power on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was watching everything to try to see what it is that I actually liked.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I don't watch any more WWE, really.
Oh, dude, it's so bad.
Yeah, I can't do it.
It's horrible.
Kudos to everybody that can. If I have friends that, eventually get there or whatnot, I will definitely watch. But I just can't do it anymore. For a while, I was watching AEW live to make sure I gave them those numbers that they needed.
Oh, of course they needed.
And then I would record NXT, and then I would watch NXT after.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But quickly that just kind of fell apart too, and I can't get behind it.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm not going to be that fan either. That's like AEW is the best. Suck it. But AEW has their faults too. You can't be perfect, y'all. Like you can't be perfect.
No, nothing's perfect.
But yeah, so I've been watching a lot of that. I've been, of course, since I've been in indie wrestling now, I have been watching so much indie wrestling.
Nice.
And a lot of that, like, I also attribute to like just Instagram being like really easy to find people and watch their stuff. And IWTV and things like that, like watching as much as I can. Like, honestly, I also watch like Dark and Elevation because that helps with scouting. Like I get to see people like, well, when it's not a squash match, hey, Dark, fix that.
Oh, wow.
I'm able to like watch these people that I otherwise wouldn't know, from different areas and be like, oh, they're cool. I like their look or I like, so yeah, I kind of love, I'm not a specific, like, I love me some flippy shit. I love me some brawlers. I love technical wrestling. I love grappling. I kind of like it all as long as it's done well. You know, I even like supernatural stuff as long as it's not dumb.
Yeah. No, I agree. No,
as long as it's not Alexa Bliss.
Oh my gosh.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
There's like, because it doesn't have to be dumb. It just is often made dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we as people are not dumb.
No. Don't insult my intelligence because I'm not.
WWE is the biggest group that does it to us as fans the most.
Oh, for sure. It's like, like, I want to watch wrestling. Right. And I'm already suspending some disbelief, right? Because
so much.
It's wrestling. It's fake fighting. But I am like, I'm suspending that already. Don't make me do it to a degree where I'm just like, all right, come on, guys.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like we all know deep down in us, a little bit of us all know that some of wrestling is silly. So, as long as it's not the entire 3-hour show, which is insane. The fact that there's a 3-hour wrestling show every week is insane. Shorten that. But it's there. It can't be. From what I've gathered from what all the news sites and stuff are saying is that they each in every show they have at least one or two things that's like, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
But when it's a 3-hour show, you're just trying to fill time and you eventually just
drags on.
Yeah, it just goes downhill.
Yeah, it just drags
Can't do
on.
it. But yeah, so I like everything. To answer that question in a very long way.
No, that's cool. No, that's good. No. You sound like the fan that I am. I love everything. I raised my Impact Wrestling flag up very, very high because not a lot of people do. But they're turning around.
They have turned a corner, I feel like.
Yeah, and they did so good. To me, they did so good during the COVID COVID era, they didn't let anyone go.
Right.
They
Yeah.
didn't fire anybody. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't have to cancel any tapings. They kept on going. They were obviously doing live shows, but I mean, I feel like they're probably one of the companies that actually made money during COVID and didn't lose money.
Well, so that's probably because they were also getting an AEW rub as well.
Yeah.
So they were like, because for a while there, I was like, well, I have to watch Impact because I feel like I'm missing half the story if I don't, right? Unfortunately, that didn't really pay off the way I was like hoping for,
dude.
But like there were some cool matches out of that. But like all of Omega's matches were awesome.
Oh yeah. Dude, you have to give it to them.
Yeah.
So
but
good.
now that like a lot of people have become available and things like they've signed people that I was like hoping that they would. Like I wanted the talent to get spread across everybody. Like I get excited as much as everybody else does when they're like, oh, this guy's going to go to AEW. You're like, yeah, cool. But then you're like, wait a minute. Now, come on. Like, they can't have everyone. Let's
get into
break
that
this
now.
up. Yeah, let's break this up.
We're going to get into that right now. Yeah, we're going to talk about some issues that I don't like with AEW. I'm not going to shit on AEW. I'm not going to shit on AEW. I love AEW. I'm so glad they're around. It's definitely making, wrestling as a whole better.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't sign everybody.
No.
You can't have a bloated roster, and
WWE just did this, right? Like a few years ago, they signed the purposes for them signing everybody is different. Like for WWE is trying to keep everybody away from everybody else.
Yeah.
And in this instance, it's just like AEW's hot, and they are like, we want to put on the best wrestling shows. Part of that is constantly bringing in new people, and that excitement that garners. But eventually, some people are going to get lost in the shuffle and like just not be on TV anymore. And you're going to be like, where'd that guy go?
Andrade. I was so mad about Andrade coming over and then doing nothing.
Well, he hasn't done nothing.
Recently.
He just hasn't done all of his story stuff right now is garbage.
Yes. And I feel like,
but his
like
match, but then he'll have a match and you'll be like, oh, okay. Right. That's Andrade. That's the Andrade I know and love.
Yeah.
Like his stuff with Pac and like, the Cody matches and stuff were awesome.
Yeah.
Like my thing is if I don't like something that AEW is doing, I wait it out.
Yeah.
I don't immediately go, well, I don't like that. Yeah. But I kind of wait it out and just trust in them that they'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah. One thing I hated right away, which I don't know why I hated right away. I hated that CM Punk lost to MJF. But then I was like,
it works so well for this.
And then
story.
like a day or two later, I'm like, I'm glad he did lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still got a pay-per-view match eventually.
Oh, they got everybody thinks, well, a few people on the internet are thinking that it's going to end up in a dog collar match because they keep referencing Roddy Piper a lot in their promos.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so, and Punk has done callbacks to matches before, like the Bret Hart and Dynamite Kid match. Yep. Him and Darby did like several spots from it.
That,
so I think that's where they're leaning is like, hey, let's keep paying homage as much as we can to these things.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So, yeah, but like, yeah, some of them are definitely like. First off, having Vicky Guerrero come out with Andrade, I was furious.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I just
why?
I can't. I was like, why?
Yeah.
And then Chavo shows up for a while, and then that doesn't really pan out. It's just like, what are we? Come on, guys, let's lock it in. And you know what? You know what? Some of it could be is it was all rumored when he came over there that he was going to have like some pretty good creative control over what he was doing.
Yeah.
It could be him. You know, he could be like, I have this idea, and they're like, okay, cool, let's do it, and then it just doesn't work.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
But he is getting more, backstage segments and actually talking a lot more.
Yes.
On camera, which I feel like that's one thing that he was lacking.
But unfortunately, it's with Matt Hardy.
Yes.
And the HFO or whatever that is.
Whatever that needs to hurry up and get done.
That's going to get done soon. But see, what they did was, this is how they get me, right? So during the last TNT, was it the last TNT match or something, or it was on? Rampage was on mute while I had Hearts of Love.
Is that the Sammy match? And
so Sammy stares off against somebody at Rampage recently
from Private Party, right?
Maybe, yeah. But then they literally teased like 3 different matches. Like they teased him and Andrade, they teased Andrade and Darby Allin, and they teased Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
And they literally teased 3 matches that immediately I was like, I want to see all those matches.
Oh yeah.
So like as much as I'm like, I don't like what he's doing in story.
Yeah.
When they do stuff like that, I'm like, well, see, why am I being so hard on them?
It's just hard, I guess, maybe as wrestling fans to like always want everything, but
yeah,
we want it now. I don't know how come.
I mean,
well.
we're not patient.
I guess we're
human
not.
race.
No, you're totally right. Yeah, I want to switch over because I since you're here, I always got to talk about Impact Wrestling with another fan of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think people don't give it a chance right now? I mean, I don't know if you watch any of it at all.
So I watched some of it. I watched I watched a couple episodes recently. I watched the last episode I watched. Well, one of the most recent episodes I watched was Masha's debut.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And then I watched one that was like this past week or the week before.
Is that the one with the GOD when they came and had their debut match?
So it might have been I fell asleep.
Oh, damn!
Because I put it on late.
Wow.
I put it on late.
Okay.
I can fall asleep to wrestling. It's okay. I remember there was like a Crazy Steve versus somebody match, and he was big. Fuck, was it? I see. This is why I remember there was also it was Jonathan Gresham and
Josh Alexander.
No, and Cutler, but his name's not Cutler anymore. Steve something.
Steve Macklin.
Steve Macklin. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like his new gimmick too.
Yeah. Oh, he's badass.
Yeah. So yeah, it was Macklin versus Gresham and that, and I watched that. That was the last episode I watched, but I think that was 2 episodes ago or something like that. I just like threw it on because I was like, I want to watch some. I'll see what Impact's up to. And there's like talent over there that we've used or are going to use. Wink, wink. So like I want to see what they're doing on their main show. I want to see if there's anything we could do with them here at Journey Pro and things like that. So, I think the reason most people aren't watching it maybe is because it's on Access.
Access, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like not a lot of people have it. Like I have Sling TV, so it just so happens that in one of the packages of Sling, that Access is there. I wouldn't purchase Access by itself.
Yeah.
But it just happens to be there. And I think part of it probably has to do too of like, I feel like if it was called TNA, people would be like, oh, right.
That makes sense.
But, with it being TNA Impact and then now just Impact Wrestling, I think people don't recognize the name or like those kind of things. It's just like, it's just one of those things. It's on Access. It's harder to see, those kind of things. I think more people gave it a chance during the Kenny Omega stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that kept people because I know they were doing like record pay-per-view numbers for Impact during that time.
Sure.
So, and like it seems like ROH is now doing stuff with them there. Like, so there's some interest. So, okay, here's a pet peeve really quick about this storyline that they're doing with this ROH invasion. Matt Taven.
I know exactly what you're going to say already.
Matt Taven and Vincent were just in a goddamn blood feud for the past 2 years in ROH, and now all of a sudden they're in Impact in a group together. No, just keep
honor no more.
Keep the kingdom together, Taven and Bennett, because they're awesome.
Yeah, and
they could be part of the invasion, but they don't have to be all in one big group. PCO also doesn't fit. Vincent doesn't fit in that like it just doesn't fit.
What's crazy is the Impact actually signed PCO. They actually announced that they actually signed PCO. I'm like, out of all the group of people, that's who you announced that you signed.
Like I would sign, honestly, if I were at Impact, I would have signed Vincent's group immediately.
Yeah,
because it's awesome. His like thing that he was doing in ROH with Bateman and that big dude with the beard. I can't remember. He's like brand new. He'd only wrestled like twice at ROH before they closed. It was like their 3-man. They ended up winning the 6-man tag championships at ROH Final Battle against Shane Taylor Promotions. But like, if you're doing an invasion angle, you don't have to lump everybody together and just be like, this works. Because anybody that watched ROH is like, this Vincent and Matt Taven thing doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And I just don't. Maybe they're like, here's the top guys from ROH. Not fully, and they're also like in that match against Macklin, at the end of it ended and Honor No More all showed up and were like trying to get Gresham to come into the ring with them.
Yeah.
It's also like, yo, you guys have been fighting each other for years. And now you're just like, now you guys are all hunky-dory. Like, this is like rinse and repeat what WCW and WWE did. And that didn't go well.
No, not at all.
So why are we doing it again?
Oh gosh, it could have been so much better.
Yeah, like if you just did Taven and Bennett and Maria Kanellis come in as a crew, and they're starting to take over. They're like, well, there's also some people from ROH that are going to show up, and that's just like. Not everybody has to be in one large group. It doesn't make any sense. Like Vincent doesn't make sense with that group, and PCO doesn't make sense with that group. Vincent is a leader of a group.
Yeah,
like that's why it doesn't make any sense either. He's very charismatic, and like it's silly.
They could have done something easier where they would just explain why they decided to join them. They could have a backstage meeting like, "Hey, we need you," or "Hey, I know we had trouble in the past. Let's put that behind us."
They literally just did this on AEW.
Gosh,
they just did this with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Like all they had to do, little backstage segment, and then being like, "Look, we're gonna put that aside for now. This is a new place, new beginning."
That's all I needed. That's all I needed to happen.
All you got to do. Don't just do it and just like pretend like we don't know.
Yeah.
Like it's so like because people that are watching Impact most likely know some of the Ring of Honor history stuff, or at least especially like the fact that Ring of Honor was shutting down. Like people like paid attention to Final Battle and stuff. So it's like them just like throwing that stuff away. Or just not acknowledging it, especially with how open that forbidden door has been.
Yeah.
With how clearly like AEW is like continuing on storylines that have happened in New Japan and that happened at NXT. And they're just kind of openly talking about it. Like it can't be so like split. Oh, well, what happened in ROH and what's happening in Impact right now has no correlation because it does. Like it just does.
No, it really
it's
does.
just the history of the characters. Like
no, for sure.
You can't just throw that stuff away. And I think it's weird that they're doing that. But like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I think it'll end up working out. But
Yeah. So some spoilers. Kenny King came. He came and he joined Honor No More as well. Which I rarely ever watch ROH, and I don't know like who's good or who's bad or who's together, who doesn't like each other. Where's Kenny King and all that? Do you know?
Kenny King was in Rush's group, which Rush is the he was the ROH champion for a while, Mexican wrestler, like big. See, this is where things could get weird. Is him and Andrade are like very close.
Oh, okay.
And I thought when ROH closed, I was like, oh, fuck. They're going to put Andrade and Rush together, and it's going to
Yeah.
be crazy. It still hasn't happened yet.
Huh.
But they are very, very close. He was the ROH champion for a while. He's the one that lost to Bandito.
Oh, okay.
For Bandito to be crowned the ROH champ.
Wow.
So, yeah, Kenny King was a part of that group, but it never like made sense to me. I think he was also a part of the Foundation originally, which was Gresham, Jay Lethal. I think he was in that originally too. I just, like I said, I am relatively new to coming back, so I've only been like really at it for a few years. So, there's a lot of history and stuff that I missed. Part of something I like about like New Japan is they have like full YouTube videos, like 30-minute long videos to explain to you the history of the Bullet Club, the history of Chaos.
Those videos are great.
Who are these people?
Those videos are great.
Like I started watching AEW and I'm like, man, I wish I would have seen that stuff. Like, how would I know like what's going on? Oh, these 30-minute long videos that give you a history of like how these stables were built, what happened, who crossed who, all that stuff. Because now I have like a basis for when at Revolution, Adam Cole and Hangman Adam Page wrestle each other for the title. Yeah. It means more because I went back and like checked and was like, they got some cool stuff going on.
No, that's really cool stuff that they do that. The way they put together, editing now for wrestling has been amazing, I feel like. All of the recaps and stuff. The way they put together is so well done. I'm
a big fan of that, and I wish they did this more, is when Taz breaks down people's maneuvers. The last time he did it was for Hook, of course. But when he was doing that like every week, I was like, this is fucking awesome.
No, that was really cool. It's different. It hasn't really been done in wrestling before.
Yeah, because they try to make it more like a sport, right? Yeah. Like that was like the whole thing with AEW is you have rankings and you make it more sports focused.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Gosh. No, No, I'm glad you got back into wrestling, man.
Yeah.
Like in general, like I got back into wrestling when CM Punk came, when he did his pipe bomb.
Oh, it is pipe bomb, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I came back.
So that's like I missed that. Like I was not paying attention at that time. I can't remember exactly what I was doing during that. I mean, I was really focused on music industry stuff for a while.
Yeah.
But I remember actually something that almost brought me back was Bray Wyatt.
Oh, yeah.
I had like, it was a Monday night. I'm bored, flipping through the channels, and all of a sudden I'm like, Raw. Okay, let's check it out.
Yeah.
I flip it over to Raw, and it's the end of a match. Like Roman is beating the shit out of somebody, and that dude's dead. Roman is won, and then all the lights go out. It's like, ooh, something's gonna happen. Lights come back up, and there's this terrifying gentleman in the corner of the ring. He does a back bend, like spider walk towards him.
The Exorcist walk.
And then fucking hits him with his, oh, Jesus, why can't I think of the name of his finisher? Sister Abigail?
Sister Abigail, yeah.
And I was like, well, that was fucking cool. Whatever that was really fucking rad. And then I tried to watch the next 5 minutes, and it was a talking segment with somebody, and I was like,
done.
Yep, I'm out.
Change the
But
channel.
that really cool moment like made me go, oh, right, yeah, they can do cool stuff. And I mean, that was several years ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, I'm glad I got back into it too, because I mean, I wouldn't be in this position now of doing this. It's wild to think like a year or so ago, I was just really, really getting back into it and becoming like a really big fan of wrestling again.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this position now at Journey Pro. It's just like kind of crazy.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't wait. I'm going to go to that show for sure. I will definitely be there with my girlfriend.
Yeah, come to the Love Below.
No.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
People are going to be so excited.
I appreciate you coming on here.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me, dude.
No, this is
awesome.
amazing. No, I'm down to nerd out about anything.
Yeah.
Wrestling was great.
Yeah, I'm about to drive home and watch Dynamite. That's my...
man, it's going to be a good one tonight.
I hope so.
You guys need to check it out.
I hope so.
Yeah, so we're going to wrap it back up and let people know about Journey Pro one more time.
Yeah, JourneyProKC.com to grab your tickets for February 18th, The Love Below at Blip Roasters. We are not fully family friendly, like there are cursing and things like that. But if
18 and up show, right?
Yeah, if you want, like, we're sometimes lenient on if somebody wants to bring a child. So if you want to bring a kid and stuff, that's fine, you know, but you're responsible for them, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, but yeah, come out to the show. It's a lot of fun. And I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy what we're doing.
And I will be there with my camera in hand. I might take a picture or get you on video. We'll see.
Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, man, appreciate you coming through. We're going to be out of here.
Please subscribe to our podcast.
And we're out of here. Thank you for watching and listening.
Thanks,
Peace.
y'all. Peace.